call the business end of the season, make sure you don't miss a minute with the Sun's free pull-out goals. From the Premier League to League Two, you'll get all the expert opinion, tactical analysis and news you need. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun. Sorry.
It's another day at Screwfix, and so Mo Farah is learning the ropes.
So, Mo, with Click and Collect, we get orders ready fast. So customers are out of here and back to their jobs in as little as 1 minute. What are you doing?
Deep lunges. It's my warm-up. I need to be in peak condition for when orders come in.
Love that intensity, Mo. Laser focused. You might even have what it takes to beat my PB one day.
Back in the Mo.
Click and Collect in as little as 1 minute. Screwfix. No stopping you.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of April 2024 and 30th of June 2024 was under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Game Day Live on Talk Sport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk.
Award-winning live football commentary. Game Day exclusive. Talk Sport.
This is Game Day exclusive on TalkSport. Faker Others with you live from Stamford Bridge for commentary of Chelsea against Manchester United. We kick off at 8 o'clock with both sides needing a win in the race for Champions League football. Stuart Pearce, Sam Matterface and Flex alongside me high up in the gantry here at Stamford Bridge, where the light show has started. London Calling was blaring out and the flames are blasting out. The pyrotechnics have begun over on the far side of this old ground. The fans are finally starting to pour in as well. Blue seats being covered finally after the blue coat protests outside, flags all around this stadium. It's such a big game. We're about to see Moises Caicedo lead out Chelsea, not Enzo Fernandez, who is vice-captain of this club. He's back in the side after those comments that he made regarding the recruitment here at Chelsea Football Club. How is that dynamic going to work on the pitch, do you think, Stu? Captain, who he should have been with Reece James out, should have been captain tonight, decided not to be by Liam Rossinho?
Listen, there's been a discipline problem there that they think they've cracked down on. I'm not sure it was a wise move, to be honest with you, for Chelsea Football Club to alienate a player, to be honest with you. If it was a really serious affair, you've got to deal with it. I'm not sure this actually was. This day and age, listen, we're used to coming here with John Terry as the captain. You looked at and thought, well, there's a captain. I see it quite transient these days, some of the captains that I see on the Premier League football pitch.
Yeah, Flex, United going to be smelling blood, knowing what's going on behind the scenes here.
That does need to be what they need to be looking at for sure. You can sense it, that there's an opportunity here for Manchester United, especially if they can get the first goal. But I will be honest, I don't want to be too pessimistic, but I have seen this before from Man United. We haven't won here since 2020. It doesn't matter whether Chelsea are playing good, bad or indifferent. So I don't necessarily buy into they've got loads of problems, let's just go and quickly exploit that, because we have a lot of issues ourselves.
No, the teams are out. The liquidator is on. Cole Palmer, the last one to be turning out with his mascot on his arm. This should be a cracking game.
Due to license restrictions, the current program content is not available in your area. Please try later or catch up with all your favorite presenters on Talk's dedicated YouTube channel or download the free Talk app.
Real Sociedad, as I was saying, very much looking to add this trophy tonight, as they are hoping for just a third Copa del Rey title on the The last time they did it was in 2020 at La Cartuja. Well, of course, with it being 2020, not a single fan was in attendance owing to the COVID restrictions. The last time, in fact the only time, they've won this trophy in front of supporters was back in 1987. And who did they beat on that occasion? Yes, of course, it was Atletico Madrid in a penalty shootout. We could well go the distance again tonight. And talking of the Copa del Rey, the man who the competition is named after is in attendance. The King of Spain taking his seat. Felipe VI. As the anthem gets played before the match. These two sides both making changes from their most recent fixtures. Just one from Atletico Madrid. Clement Lenglet drops to the bench and he's been replaced by Marc Pubil. Fairly expected change, given that Pubil was just serving a yellow card suspension from the Champions League match in midweek. So the full 11 for Atleti is Juan Musso in goal, Nahuel Molina, Marc Pubil, Robin Lenormand and Matteo Ruggeri at the back. Giuliani Simeone, Marcos Llorente, Koke and Ademola Lookman are the midfield four, with Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez up front in what we expect to be a 4-4-2 formation. Can expect Simeone and Lookman to be getting forward down the wings. On the bench for Los Colchoneros, we have Clement Lenglet, Johnny Cardoso, Alexander Soloth, Alex Baena, Nicolas Gonzalez, Rodri Mendoza, Thiago Almada, Jan Oblak, Obed Vargas, Javier Bonyar and Pablo Barrios. Real Sociedad, they have made 4 changes to the team that drew 3-3 with Alaves a week ago. Unai Marrero, who has been favoured during the cup run, is in goal. Also returning to the 11 are Sean Martin, Gonzalo Guedes and Mikel Oyarzabal. So it's Marrero in goal, back four of John Aramburu, Duye Chaleta-Tsar, Sean Martin and Sergio Gomez. Beñat Turrientes and Carlos Soler are the holding midfielders, with Ander Barnechea, Lucas Sucic and Gonzalo Guedes in the more attacking roles in behind Oyarzabal. On the bench, Alex Ramiro, Aritz Elizondo, Bryce Mendes, Ori Oskarsson, Ian Munoz, Takefusa Kubo, Pablo Marin, Luquen Beitia, John Gorachatagai, Wesley and Shangel Herrera. Our referee this evening is Javier Alberola. Alfredo Rodriguez and Jorge Bueno are his assistants. Adrian Cordero is the fourth official. And back on VAR duty we have Jorge Figueroa, assisted by Daniel Trujillo. Both sides wearing their home kits. Atleti in the red and white stripes with blue shorts. La Real in the royal and white shirts with white shorts this evening. It's a clear evening in Andalusia. Every seat in the house taken, and we are about to get underway for the final of the 2026 Copa del Rey. It will be Real Sociedad to kick us off. Oyarzabal going through his final checks as he waits for the referee's whistle, and we are now underway. Ball played back straight away to Unai Marrero as Real players flood forward. Long clearance by Marrero takes a bounce, and it's out on the left wing. Decent cross comes in. The first shot. Oh, what a start! There's a goal inside 14 seconds. Quite unbelievable. It's Sucic with the cross, and it was finished by Ander Barnechea. Unbelievable start. Diego Simeone just calling for calm from his side, and Atletico Madrid have conceded before they've even touched the ball. A dream start in the cup final. Long punt forward by the goalkeeper. It bounced on the left wing before it was taken down by Gonzalo Guedes. And there was still a lot for Ander Barnechea to do with the cross. He really had to leap up. He got above Matteo Ruggeri and he guided it inch perfect between the post and the diving Juan Musso. Musso diving down to his right. But he wasn't good enough, he wasn't quick enough, he wasn't big enough, he couldn't stretch down. And Ander Barnechea, one of the local boys in the Real Sociedad lineup, he has given them the lead. We'll wait for official confirmation, but from my reckoning it was 14 seconds. The Real Sociedad took the lead, and if that's not the fastest goal in a Copa del Rey final, then please prove me wrong in the record books. And they're doing the Poznan, the Chiriodin fans. And they've got the ball in Atletico's half once again. Barnechea, the goal scorer, back into his own half. They're happy now to control the ball. The fans behind Unai Marrero's goal are going absolutely mad, as you can imagine. Header forward from Oyarzabal, no one in blue and white to get on the end of it. Atleti recycle back to Juan Musso, long clearance from him. I'm back on the halfway line, but neither side really able to grab a hold of the game. Since, of course, Real Sociedad took that lead, maybe a chance now for Atleti to build something. They're trying to send Lookman away down their left-hand side. Showed a bit too much of that, and they tangled with Arambaru. It goes down, and the referee has blown his whistle. I think he's given a free kick to Atleti. He didn't exactly motion with his hand, and he has indeed. It will be a free kick for Atletico. Wide on the left wing, about 5 or so yards outside the penalty area. It's almost in line with the little dash along the goal line to indicate 10 yards from the corner flag. It will be Alvarez to try and just chip it into the box. He's got a couple of players lingering on the edge of the area for a short one. One of them is Koke, but he fires it in and it's had to be punched away. It was on target from Alvarez despite the very tight angle. Punched away well though by Marrero. And let him have it back, but not for long. Maybe a chance now for La Real to break. Oyarzabal goes square. The move is slowed right down. Churientes over to the right hand side. Good recycling though by Sociedad. As I say that, commentators curse on Oyarzabal. He's given it away. Tug back on Llorente, but he stays on his feet and plays the ball out to Giuliano Simeone, playing right in front of his dad. Infield now. Koke trying to spread it out, and it's one for Lookman to chase, and he's going to get there. Down the wing, he's up against Arambaru again, and again showed too much of it to him. Arambaru, though, this time with a clean challenge. Plays it up to Oyarzabal, who's playing deeper and deeper in these early exchanges. Looks for the goal scorer, Barnechea, down the right, but misdirected pass. And he goes all the way through to Juan Musso. They're going to Lookman again, Atleti, who would have been stunned with that dreadful start from their perspective. Ball played back now to Marc Pubil, 5 yards or so inside Sociedad half. And then down. Not the nicest challenge there from Churientes on Julian Alvarez. Catches him in the middle of the Real Sociedad half. The free kick is too far out for the shot. And it's not the best angle for a cross either. Antoine Griezmann looking to maybe just clip this one into a dangerous position. Julian Alvarez standing in an offside position. Griezmann does indeed clip it into the area, but it's dealt with by the blue and white back line. Punted clear to the halfway line, and Barrenechea is trying to put Ruggeri under some sort of pressure, but fullback finds Musso with relative ease. Again, they look for Lookman. Lookman, oh, he's got beyond his man this time. Gets to the bylines, he's taken that too far. The Real Sociedad players claiming so, and yes, the referee agrees. It's going to be just a goal kick. I think that's 4 times already they've looked to release Ademola Lookman down that right-hand side. I'm being shown another replay of the goal. It wasn't really a bullet header or a cushion header. It's on these headers that's maybe just difficult to describe, but there was it really took some technique from Ander Barrenechea, not really known for his heading ability, and that was in fact his first goal in the Copa del Rey this season. Great time to get it, and the blue and white wall, which is which has flecks of red and green and white of the Basque flag in wild celebration before Atletico Madrid had touched the ball. Ball back to Musso, and inside his own 6-yard box. Bit of a heavy touch from him, but he gets away with it. Intended clearance gets blocked by Gonzalo Guedes, the man who put that cross in for Barrenechea. Real Sociedad have already kept 4 clean sheets in the Copa del Rey this season. If they keep another one tonight, they've won the trophy. Long ball forward, and Marrero outside of his area. Has to clear it away quickly under a bit of pressure from Alvarez, but he does well. Atleti take the throw. Koke going crossfield again to you-know-who, Ademola Lookman. This time his touch lets him down. And the ball ricochets out of play, and last touch off for Lookman, I believe. Arambaru certainly had to plead his case there. 8.5 minutes gone at Estadio de la Cartuja. Real Sociedad in front. A goal in the first minute by Ander Barrenechea. They try to get some distance on this throw as they look to clear their lines, and now long ball forward, one for Gonzalo Guedes to chase, but it's too far ahead of him and just outside of his box. Nice little clipped clearance from Juan Musso. He finds Giuliano Simeone. In field he goes to Koke. Again, they want to go out wide to the left. Alvarez helps it on, Ruggeri, and now Lookman. No space for him to run on this occasion. Back to the Italian. In field, Koke again. They're not even attempting to go over to the right-hand side and maybe give Giuliano Simeone a chance to take on his man. Still early days, of course, but it's been one very obvious direction of travel so far in attack for Atleti. Attempted ball through the middle by Koke gets blocked, but it's picked up by Pubil. Now Griezmann on the halfway line. Tries to turn away from Oyarzabal. Now Llorente, as they finally do come down the right-hand side. Llorente infield, links up nicely with Griezmann and with Simeone. Infield he comes as the referee plays advantage for a foul. Now across to Lookman. Lookman just inside the box, trying to get away from Barrenechea. Tries to stab it through to Julian Alvarez, but gets crowded out in the end. And Real Sociedad can clear, but again, only up to the halfway line. Lenormand tries to keep the pressure on. Ball over the top, decent one from Llorente in the middle, but out to the edge of the box. Unai Marrero gathers nicely. He's wearing a two-tone blue goalkeeper shirt, Unai Marrero. The only way I can really describe it is it has a very kind of 90s vibe. More on that later as Atleti coming down the right-hand side, their right-hand side. Simeone back to Griezmann. Griezmann in field. Koke no real option, but to go back to Marc Pubil, takes the ball on again. Short pass to Julian Alvarez, who's dropped about 35 yards from goal. Ruggeri now on the left, forward to Lookman. Lookman though again, being tracked, so no space. Able to thread it through though to Alvarez. Ricochets away from him. Ruggeri, can he keep it alive? He can. He punches one in field to Marcos Llorente, who can only divert it back to Nahuel Molina. Molina over to Koke again. They're camped inside the La Real half, but unable to unlock them so far. But this might be better. Simeone and now Griezmann and Alvarez linking up, but Alvarez's touch as he tries to complete the 1-2 lets him down. Always runs away from him, and they're claiming a back pass. Atletico Madrid. Final touch was from a Real Sociedad player, but when Marrero picked it up, I'm not sure how intentional the pass was. The referee agrees. Clearance from Musso. Sergio Gomez, a little shove in the back from Gomez. Referee just giving him a talking to. Keeping his cards in his pocket there as he gives Los Colchoneros another free kick. Ruggeri forward to Lookman, but receives it back again. All over the top now, down the right hand side, one for Llorente to chase, but good work at the back there by Carlos Soler. Gets in front of the runner. Back to his goalkeeper he goes. Bit of head tennis in the middle of the park now. Gomez brings it down, but immediately under pressure. Gonzalo Guedes, oh, lovely link-up play. And Guedes could be free here. He's got beyond Nahuel Molina, who tracks back well. Plays it across, oh, and great interception. Fantastic interception at the back there by Matteo Ruggeri. That was really key, because Guedes was looking to pick up another assist there. He would have had every chance had Ruggeri not intercepted that. And as Atleti come forward, Julian Alvarez a little bit forceful in his attempts to maintain possession, gives away a foul. It has pretty much been all Atletico de Madrid since Real Sociedad took the lead. But they have not done enough to test Unai Marrero with those navy sleeves and pinstripes on his light blue goalkeeper shirt, dark shorts and white socks. If you are my kind of age, you know exactly what I mean if I tell you it's a really 90s kind of goalkeeper kit. It's pretty cool. Okay, now in the middle, and the late challenge there by Antoine Griezmann as he was attempting to keep the move going. Catches Duye Chaleta-Sar. The Croatian centre-back hitting the deck. Real Sociedad playing the free kick short and deeper into their own territory. No games in La Liga this weekend, owing to this fixture taking precedence. Real Madrid and Barcelona having been eliminated from the Champions League in midweek. I'm sure won't mind a few extra days off to lick their wounds. Atleti, of course, going out to, or maybe I should say that properly, Barcelona going out to Atletico Madrid. Quarter of an hour gone, though, in the cup final, and Atleti are trailing again. And it's Real Sociedad on the ball. Short ball forward from Chaleta-Sar. Guedes getting involved. It's back on the halfway line now. With Lukas Sucic almost filling into the back line. Cross field, right onto the chest of Gonzalo Guedes. Claims of offside, but the play continues for now. Guedes looking to try and get the cross in. Comes in field and then showed too much of it to the backtracking Antoine Griezmann, who intercepted well, but they've given it away cheaply again. And they're being forced to sit back once again, Atletico Madrid. It's Carlos Soler slowing the game down, barely even to a walking pace. Over to Sergio Gomez now on the left-hand side. He comes back in field to Turrientes. He's 5 or 6 yards inside the Atleti half. Square he goes to Chatazar. Forward to the goal scorer, Ander Barrenechea. Martin again. On to Barrenechea. Fancies. Oh, he tried his luck from 25 yards. It was a stinging effort. Had to just be batted down by Juan Musso, who then scrambled forward to stop the loose ball falling to an opponent. There wasn't much danger of that. There was no one even close to the area, and we'll pick that back up because Alvarez, he's going through on goal, and he's gone down at the edge of the box. The referee not interested again. Went down under pressure from John Martin. I think it was just a natural coming together of two bodies, no real foul by either of them. And the ball just running away from the Atleti attacker, who was through on goal momentarily there. This game feels like it can change in an instant. There was contact between Martin and Alvarez, but not really enough to warrant a foul. If it was a foul, it would have been outside the area and a free kick. Alvarez thinks he's not really getting the rub of the green early on. 17.5 minutes gone in the final of the 2026 Copa del Rey. Atletico Madrid still trailing. You're listening live on the Flash Score app to this unofficial audio commentary coverage. And Atletico Madrid now with Julian Alvarez coming forward through the middle to Griezmann. Griezmann in field. Oh, that's a fantastic equaliser. It's Ademola Lookman. He's come in field to the centre of the Atleti attack. The first time we've seen him come off the wing, and he's been devastating in that attack. And it's Ademola Lookman, a man who has proven himself in big finals before, who draws Atletico Madrid level in the Copa del Rey final, and now it's the red and white horde on the other side of La Cartuja on their feet and celebrating. Such a simple attack, really. Alvarez through the middle. He saw Griezmann in space on his left. Griezmann, I think he was trying to pick out Alvarez again at the edge of the area. Alvarez, though, let it run. Ademola Lookman, though, was in position on the edge of the 18-yard box. One touch to set himself. And then with his left foot, he kept it low. It was across Unai Marrero and into the bottom corner. And with 19 minutes played, it's Atletico Madrid 1, Real Sociedad 1. Game on again. Yeah, cup final that both sides are desperate to emerge victorious from. Sociedad quickly winning themselves a free kick in a dangerous position. It's wide on the left wing, similar position to where Gonzalo Guedes crossed Ander Barrenechea's opener. Diego Simeone is making his feelings known to the referee. Stood right on the very, very edge of his technical area, trying to almost put off Carlos Soler and Sergio Gomez, who have stood over this free kick. Plenty of bodies to aim at in the Atleti box. We hit the 20-minute mark. Waiting for the whistle from the referee. We've got players down. He's not happy that Ademola Lookman has stepped over the magic spray line. And he's just making sure that he is 10 yards, the man who scored the equaliser. Finally, the The referee blows his whistle. Oh, and there's confusion there. And finally, Sergio Gomez swings it in. It's too close to Musa, who gathers easily. I don't know if it was part of the plan, but Carlos Soler and Sergio Gomez almost dummied it to each other. You know, some not quite pushing and shoving. There was wrestling going on in the box in the meantime between Barrenechea and Julian Alvarez. All getting a little bit unsavoury. Tensions running high in the opening quarter of this game. Antoine Griezmann gets dispossessed quite easily by Gonzalo Guedes, who keeps his head up nicely and helps the ball on to Lucas Sucic. Sucic then waits for some support to arrive, finds Turrientes, goes to Guedes. Sergio Gomez now on the left, back in field, Turrientes again. They're being forced to slow the attack right down, but they're maintaining possession in the Atleti half. Real Sociedad, as I say that, back into Chaleta-Tsar, a couple of yards inside Atleti territory. And then right back to Unai Marrero. It's almost inviting pressure from the Atleti players. They're not really biting though. And he is now going to clear his lines and look out to the right wing. Header though, a decisive one from Matteo Ruggeri, knocks it out of play. Throw into Sociedad. They waste no time in taking it. And they have again moved the ball back inside their own, into their own territory. Back to the goalkeeper again. Marrero goes over to the right hand side again with his clearance. Oyarzabal tussling with his international teammate Robin Lenormand. Another throw taken, and they go back inside their own half again. Real Sociedad, but they don't quite give it straight back to Marrero this time. Chaleta-Tsar forwards to Sucic. Sucic uses Oyarzabal. It's worked back to the Croatian again. Now it's been played between the defenders. Jean Martin now forward. Sucic digs out a diagonal pass. And now Guedes. Oh, that was a really stingy shot. Ball moved out to the right hand side and it was quickly fed back in field from John Aramburu to Gonzalo Guedes. He then took one touch. And there was a section of the crowd that thought that was in. It hit the side netting. A really fierce strike from 25 yards from the former Wolverhampton Wanderers man. All happening in the opening 24 minutes of this game. And in fact, the shot from Guedes took a deflection. It didn't look like that from the live pictures. It is a corner to Real Sociedad towards the near post. Headed away easily though by Antoine Griezmann. A bit of a waste that time. From the side in blue and whites. And Barrenechea, who collected the clearance. Getting the ball straight back to Marrero, who's midway inside his own half. A couple of short passes being exchanged. They're happy to build off a little bit slower, Real Sociedad, taking their time. Sergio Gomez uses Gonzalo Guedes, who, like Lookman, has come off his left wing, playing a bit more centrally. Almost worked with that shot a minute ago. Tempted ball down the right, comes to nothing, and Atletico Madrid now in possession. Deep inside their territory. This is the 7th final of the Copa del Rey in a row to be played at Estadio de la Cartuja. The first one was that game in 2020 when Real Sociedad picked up the trophy, and they might have another chance here as the ball comes in and the shot gets deflected well wide. In the end, Carlos Soler with a decent chance. Bit of a nothing ball down the left, and Barrenechea chased well. Infield he came Sucic, and the ball took a fortunate deflection, taking it towards Carlos Soler. Hit it on the half volley, deflected wide and out for another corner. The second of the game. Both of them arriving in the last couple of minutes. few players for Soler to aim for at the back post, and that's where he goes, and it was slightly overhit. Trying to turn it back into a danger area was Gonzalo Guedes, unsuccessfully. First final at La Cartuja, a 1-0 win in front of their Basque neighbours, Athletic Club. This is only their second final and their first in front of fans since 1988. They reached the final again after beating Atleti in the penalty shootout. Atletico Madrid, they've won this competition 10 times, but they haven't done so since 2013, a long drought by their standards. And in fact, that's their only Copa del Rey success in 30 years. They won in 1996. But the one they did win in 2013, that was a big one. They won 2-1 against Real Madrid. Not successful in the Champions League finals against their old enemy. Maybe 9-time runners-up as well. Most recently in 2010, so this is just Diego Simeone's second final. As a manager, that is. He was part of the winning team in 1996. Cross from Sergio Gomez now, down the left-hand side, into a decent area, but no one there to attack it for Real Sociedad. Cleared, but ball won back by Beñat Turrientes. Chance to try and build something down the right, but deflection takes it away from Barnechea, and Lenormand can knock it out of play. Throw in taken by Aramburu. Barnechea again. Up against Antoine Griezmann. The two bleached blonde players going up against each other. Decent cross. Headed away well by Simeone. Trying to keep the pressure on with Turrientes and Soler, but ball forward from Soler down the right comes to nothing. Ruggieri just watches it out of play. The pace of the game has slowed slightly in the last few minutes. Just that, well, a couple of chances deflected from range for Real Sociedad. As I say that, I'd let you give the ball away again, and another shot comes in. It's another one that's deflected out. This one from Sucic. Speculative effort from over 20 yards out. Deflected and goes harmlessly wide, but Musso unable to get there quickly enough. Just being shown replays of the equalising goal. Lovely steered finish into the bottom corner from Adam Lukman, of course. Scored a hat-trick in the Europa League final a couple of years ago to ruin Bayer Leverkusen's perfect season. That, of course, when he was playing for Atalanta. Stepping up again in a final. Corner, though, for Real Sociedad. Another one that's not the best. This one straight into the clutches of Juan Musso. A long clearance from him is pretty poor, and it's going to go all the way through to Unai Marrero. Both goalkeepers playing in their 6th game in the Copa del Rey this season. This is Atletico Madrid's 6th game, owing to their involvement in the Supercopa de España in January. They were allowed to sit out rounds 1 and 2, joining the competition at the round of 32 stage. Real Sociedad in it from the start. It's their 8th game in the competition, including, of course, 2 legs of a semi-final against Athletic Club, both of them won by 1-0. Now Atleti winning their first leg of their semi-final 4-0 against Barcelona before losing the second leg 3-0. Now in comes Oyarzabal. Bal challenge from him, and he's going to be the first man into the referee's notebook. The centre forwards came right through the back of Robin Lenormand and a fairly cynical challenge from behind, and he made no attempt to win the ball, and he did seem to go in with his studs raised there, Oyarzabal. Not a nice challenge at all from the man who scored the winning goal in the Euro 2024 final. And with their tails up now, Atletico Madrid have sent Ademola Lookman on his way. Low cross just behind Griezmann though, and he's unable to turn it goalwards. That's the freest we've seen Ademola Lookman down the left-hand side. And now Marc Pubil, I think, just to try and level things up in the Hausery states, just leaves on in on Oyarzabal. It's not a yellow card, but it is a foul. Free kick to Real Sociedad about 10 yards or so inside their own half. I think that one was for his mates, Robin Lenormand from Marc Pubil. Sociedad do not profit from the free kick, they give it away. Atletico Madrid with Molina. Short ball forward to Griezmann. They are wide on the right with Simeone, midway inside Real Sociedad territory. Coque square. Lenormand a couple of yards in opposition territory. Square, though, back to Coque. Simeone down the right-hand side. Not really any space for him to work in. The veteran Coque again. Then he goes square again to Lenormand. Ruggieri getting forward. Coque, the orchestrator of everything at the moment. Good ball forward to Griezmann, but it's almost bounced off the Frenchman and possession given away. Gonzalo Guedes now on the left-hand side for La Real. Works his way into the middle. His attempted pass out to the right, though, deflects and drops kindly for Giuliano Simeone. And Atleti just slow the tempo for a moment. It's been a bit... Oh, and then Ruggieri with a cheap giveaway to Barnechea, and then that's surely going to be a yellow card. It is. And it's Robin Lenormand into the referee's notebook, and he is complaining, although he can't really have any complaints about that one at all. Cheap given away by Matteo Ruggieri straight to Ander Barnechea, who was quickly opening up the tanks. Got to the edge of the area and was brought down by Lenormand, who got nothing of the ball. Yellow card all day long and a free kick in a dangerous position. It is just about in shooting range, but decent amount of an angle for the would-be striker to aim for on the right-hand side. In fact, the ball has been spotted a bit further out than it first looked. It's almost level with the corner of the area, so perhaps just a little clipped free kick into the box. Oyarzabal looking interested. They have made a three-man wall. Atletico Madrid make that a four-man wall, so they certainly believe that there's shooting potential here. Oyarzabal, though, moves away. Beñat Turrientes is stood over it, and it is he who strikes, and I think he was going for goal, and it's hit the top of the wall and gone out for another Real Sociedad corner. Comes off the face of Ademola Lookman. 4 corners in the game, all of them for La Real. Although they've not really come close to threatening with any of the first 3. This one's going to be an in-swinger from their right-hand side. It's too close again, and Musso has to punch, and it's not exactly away. It's Guedes who picks it up on the left-hand side. Stumbles as he tries to get away from his marker. Good work at the back by Molina. Forward now to Griezmann. Griezmann does well to shrug off a challenge. He's run out of room, though, on the right-hand side, and Sergio Gomez just comes and picks it up. Has to go right back to the edge of his own area before playing it back to the goalkeeper, who clears nicely. Headed down by Gonzalo Guedes, and then cleared up to the halfway line by Gomez. Ricochet takes it out of play off Koke. In fact, the referee has given a foul. Koke clipped as the ball came his way. Mentioned the longevity of Diego Simeone, of course, the man in the opposite dugout, Pellegrino Matarazzo, only taking over in December of this year. It'll be quite a start to his tenure if he can win Real Sociedad just their third Copa del Rey. It will be the first major trophy for the American from New Jersey. Grew up in an Italian-speaking home. Forward now from Oyarzabal, and he's found Gonzalo Guedes in a little bit of space. Guedes gets to the edge of the box, being forced out wide, and then shoots over the top. Didn't really have the options to try and pull the ball back. Took it on himself. It looks like the greedy option, but I think in that case it was the only option for Gonzalo Guedes. Did well to time his run. Just didn't have the support with him. Oyarzabal played the ball forwards on the through ball, but then just didn't really bust a gut to get forward and help. Surely as a centre forward that should be his job, but what do I know? Atleti have had 2 efforts in the whole game, both of them on target. Sociedad with 7 shots according to the stat that appeared on my screen. Also 2 on target. This is the 3rd meeting between these sides in all competitions this season, and there's not been a single clean sheet. It was 1-1 in San Sebastian in January. Soloth breaking the deadlock in the 50th minute before Gonzalo Guedes equalised as the ball is played down the left-hand side, and Oyarzabal gives away another free kick. And Soloth again broke the deadlock just last month when these sides met, after 5 minutes, but again there was a quick response from Real Sociedad. Carlos Soler equalising in the 9 minutes, but 2 Nico Gonzalez goals in a 3-2 win. Won it for Atleti. Mikel Oyarzabal scoring in the second half to make it 2-2 before Gonzalez netted the winner. Gonzalez on the bench tonight, as is Soloth, so Diego Simeone not feeling the need to rely on the 2 men who picked up points against this very side earlier this season. So far, after a dreadful start, it's working out okay. 1-1 at La Cartuja. Now another free kick won by Atletico Madrid. Molina this time offended. Free kick about 10 or so yards inside Real Sociedad territory, wide on the right. They might be trying to create something with this one. Koke's come across. He will just play it square though to Llorente. Now working it over to Adamola Lookman on the left. He's got beyond the Rambaru. Rambaru goes down. He thinks he was caught in the face, and the referee agrees it will be a free kick. A flailing arm. A flailing arm from Adamola Lookman. The London-born Nigerian pleading his innocence to the referee, who's not interested. The Real Sociedad fans calling for more than just a free kick. I think it was accidental by Adamola Lookman. Not that accidental or intent plays too much of a role in the laws of the game. No, I think the referee is using some common sense there. 5 minutes left, plus added time in the first half. First half which saw Real Sociedad take the lead inside 15 seconds. And then equaliser from Adamola Lookman. in the 18th minute. Free kick taken long by the goalkeeper down the right hand side. It deflects out of play. It will be a throw to Atleti, which they take and work back to the goalkeeper. Musso from inside his 6-yard box clears, flicked on, but to no one in red and white. Poor clearance though from Chaleta. It goes out of play around the halfway line. Pellegrino Matarazzo just cutting a calm figure on the sideline, just giving some instructions with a left arm outstretched as if just to call for a bit of calm. They will not want to concede just before the break. And they've got 10 red and white shirts in their half to try and deal with. Ruggeri on the left-hand side, infield to Griezmann. Griezmann now into Lookman trying to turn. Lookman shoots again. This one he drags wide. Again, he was looking dangerous when coming in off that left wing, just as he did for his equalising goal. But not as accurate with his shooting this time around. This is the 165th meeting between these sides who are regulars in the top flight, have been for decades and decades. Just the 15th meeting in the Copa del Rey, and despite Atleti leading the overall head-to-head record with 80 wins in those 164, Real Sociedad with 6 wins to Atleti's 4, plus 4 draws. They're the ones leading the Copa del Rey head-to-head. And Barrenechea tries a run down the right wing, but he gets upended. Another foul committed. The sitting a couple of seats away from the King of Spain is a man who took a fair few of these players to success at the Euros. Luis de la Fuente. Free kick comes in. It's a dangerous one. Has the referee given a penalty here? Yes, he has. Header was over the bar. But out came Juan Musso, and he's clattered into the man who got his head to the ball. I think it was Guedes. He's down holding his face. Really dangerous free kick. It was indeed Guedes who headed the ball over the top, but he was almost punched in the back of the head there by Juan Musso, who got nowhere near the ball. And the referee, with only about a minute of the first half remaining, plus added time, has pointed to the penalty spot. VAR, I'm sure, is going to check this, but it's not really a kind of foul that you often see, but by the letter of the law, I think this has to be a penalty. Very poor there from Juan Musso. Came out, made solid contact in a fairly dangerous way with a man who was unable to protect himself. Musso still protesting his innocence. He was yellow carded by the referee. And with less than a minute of the first 45 remaining, it is a penalty to Real Sociedad. They scored in the first minute, and they have the chance to score in the last of what's been a enthralling first half in the final of the Copa del Rey. Also preparing himself. It's going to be Mikel Oyarzabal to take the penalty. And Oyarzabal has scored a penalty in the competition already, but he's also missed one. Missed a penalty against Osasuna in the quarter-final, then stepped up to score in the shootout. He's tasked with putting Real Sociedad ahead. Up he steps, he's going to strike it with his left foot. He sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and on the stroke of half-time, Real Sociedad go 2-1 up in the cup final. Experienced heads there. Mikel Oyarzabal keeping his cool. He went low to his left. The goalkeeper dived to the opposite side. No chance for Juan Musso, who gave away the penalty. And Mikel Oyarzabal has scored for the third time in the Copa del Rey this season. He scored against Athletic Club from the penalty spot in the semi-final second leg. He scored against Alaves as well. Scored in the shootout against Osasuna, having missed a penalty in normal time. And crucially, he's put Real Sociedad 2-1 up right at the end of the first half in the final of the 2026 Copa del Rey. He kisses the badge in celebration, and there was 3 minutes signalled by the fourth official, but 1.5 of those has already gone, so you can expect to have at least 4.5 minutes of time added on at the end of this first half. It's Marcos Llorente, 10 yards inside his own half, turns it out wide to the right hand side. Giuliano Simeone runs down a bit of a blind alley, tied it up by Carlos Soler. He was the man who put that free kick in the first place, which Gonzalo Guedes met with his head. Guedes, he's been involved. It was his assist for the first goal, and then he was fouled for the penalty. Chasing hard there, Barnechea, but tied it up at the back by Lenormand. Nahuel Molina, infield short to Koke. He's got his head up, but he goes short again to Molina. Koke again, just trying to take over and keep control of the game in the middle of the park. And they're going nowhere quickly though with it at the moment. Griezmann back to the halfway line. He squares. Molina again, he steals a good few yards though, and now slowly Atleti building something. Julian Alvarez wide to the left hand side. Ruggieri forward. Lookman stays on side. Back to Alvarez. Thinks about the cross. Tries to take on Sucic instead. Now Ruggieri. His cross is overhit. It's going to be picked up on the other side by Gonzalo Guedes. Infield he comes. Links up with Soler. Does so really nicely. Space now for the Portuguese. Stabs it infield to Oyarzabal. No really room for him to work with, but he uses Jean Martin nicely. He goes wide to Barnechea. Barnechea just traps the ball out wide before knocking it back to Arambaru. We've had 3.5 extra minutes so far at the end of this first half. Gomez with a long clearance. Bit of a heavy touch by Molina, and there was one back by Guedes, but he was coming back from an offside position. Saying a few minutes ago how Materazzo's side wouldn't want to concede. They looked them more likely to concede the third goal of the game just a few minutes ago, but that just swung back in their favour once again. Mikel Oyarzabal, and with over half century of caps for Spain, he has put his side back in front, and in fact that is the end of the first half. A goal after 14 seconds from Ander Barnechea put Real Sociedad ahead. Ademola Lookman got Atleti back in the game in the 18th minute. And it's been a fairly even game, but I think it's fair to say that Real Sociedad are good value for their lead, which they retook in the final minutes of the first half when Juan Musso fouled Gonzalo Guedes in the box, and Mikel Oyarzabal rolled the penalty into the bottom corner. Half time in the Copa del Rey final. Atletico Madrid 1, Real Sociedad. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Flash Scores live and unofficial audio commentary coverage of the Copa del Rey final, taking place at the Estadio de la Cartuja in Seville. And at the moment, Real Sociedad have one hand on the trophy. They lead Atletico Madrid 2-1 at the break. Goal in the opening seconds from Ander Barrenechea. A nice header from Gonzalo Guedes' cross gave them the lead. Atleti responded well, and a tidy finish from just inside the box from Adamola Lookman brought them level, but Juan Musso came out flying from his goal line at a free kick and caught Guedes in the back of the head with a clenched fist. He was booked. The referee awarded a penalty, and Mikel Oyarzabal rolled it home. The two sides are making their way back out onto the field. In fact, the Atletico players, as you can imagine, the quicker back out on the field, ready to get underway. A more leisurely approach from La Real. Can't see any signs of any changes at the break. As things stand, Real Sociedad on the way to just a third Copa del Rey in their history. And perhaps it's not such a surprise that Atleti are struggling, because they have in fact lost 5 of their last 6 in all competitions. And I think you can look at some of those and you think they lost 3-2 to Tottenham, but they got the job done in the first leg. They lost to Barcelona in midweek, but again they'd got the job done in the first leg. Both of those ties in the Champions League. Defeats to Barcelona and Real Madrid as well, narrowly in La Liga as well. So it's also defeats that Atleti certainly wouldn't want. They certainly want to contend with the biggest 2 in Spain, but it's a kind of run where it can sort of surprise you. It probably doesn't feel like they are on such a barren run. Just a 2-0 win in that first leg of the Champions League against Barcelona. In that sequence, but as things stand, they are heading to a 6th defeat in 7 in all competitions. We are now back underway. Atletico Madrid kicking us off for the second half. They're going from right to left as I look at things on my screen. Their first jaunt forward comes to nothing. Real Sociedad win themselves a free kick as they march down their left wing. Sergio Gomez ready to take it. There were in fact no changes at half time, so I'll run you through the current 11s at an opportune moment. Sergio Gomez still waiting to take this throw in. I think he wants to get some distance on it. He does. He hurls it forward into the box, but it's headed away nicely by Marc Cubil. Bit of head tennis then just outside the Atleti area. And it's Atleti who can bring it away. Griezmann takes it down and given away again. Oyarzabal getting back and winning it. He finds John Arambaru inside his own half. Down the line for Barrenechea, who turns well to get a bit of space away from Matteo Ruggeri. John Martin now, square to Duye Chuletatzar. Back to the goalkeeper, Unai Marrero. 1-2 then inside the area with Martin, and then a long, well, not particularly long, in fact, a looping clearance. Bounces just in front of Adamola Lookman. And now Arambaru contests with Koke. Koke almost winning that little duel. The ball finally ricocheting away and out for a throw-in. Atleti will have the throw. Koke tries to encourage the Atleti supporters. Both sides will be attacking towards their own fans in the second half. And it's Atleti's turn to take some time over a throw on the left wing. Marcos Llorente comes across, gives the ball a kiss. Apologies, it's Giuliano Simeone, not Marcos Llorente. 20 seconds on the throw, and there was a header forward from Lenormand, and It was deflected, and it looked like Marrero had kept that in. The referee and linesman disagreeing. It will be a corner to Atleti, who I don't believe had one in the first half, and the graphic helpfully comes up to confirm this is in fact their first corner of the game. Julian Alvarez is going to try and in-swing it with his right foot into a dangerous area. Headed up but not away. Lookman. Now Griezmann fires over. He has to just turn and hit the ball that had just stopped dead in the middle of the Real Sociedad area. Awkward angle, and he was trying to arc his body around the ball. Griezmann fired it into Rosette in the end. So it's Juan Musso in goal for Atletico Madrid. He was booked when he gave away the penalty. Nahuel Molina, Marc Pubil, Robin Lenormand and Matteo Ruggeri in the back line. Lenormand also booked in the first half. Giuliano Simeone, Marcos Llorente, Koke and Ademola Lookman in midfield. Antoine Griezmann and Julian Alvarez up front. We're underway again following the goal kick. Arambaru held up nicely by Oyarzabal, and wide he goes to Lukas Sucic. Back to Arambaru. Real Sociedad having to retreat deep into their own territory, having played the ball over to Sergio Gomez on their left-hand side. He links up with Gonzalo Guedes, who drifts in field, then back to Martin. Square to Arambaru, wants to play the ball forward, does so, gets a pass from Oyarzabal, his touch a little bit heavy. Did they keep that in play? No, they didn't. Poor touch from Mikel Oyarzabal on the halfway line. Eventually led to a throw into Atleti a few yards inside their own half, and they've played that to Lenormand and in turn to Musso. Musso again with a 1-2 with Marc Pubil. To the left now, down the line for Lookman. Comes together with Arambaru. Referee says it's Atleti ball. Arambaru disagrees. Unai Marrero is in goal for Real Sociedad. Arambaru is in the back line with Duye Cesar, John Martin and Sergio Gomez. Beñat Turrientes and Carlos Soler are holding behind Ander Bernachea, Lukas Sucic and Gonzalo Guedes. Mikel Oyarzabal, who as well as scoring, has picked up a yellow card in the first half, is the centre forward. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Another foul conceded this time by Sergio Gomez. Quick free kick taken by Atleti inside their own half. Koke again trying to take control of the situation. And now up to Griezmann on the halfway line. Looping ball from Griezmann out wide, taken down by Ruggeri under pressure from Barnechea. Now forward. Lookman trying to come in field, and he's been fouled again, this time by Arambaru. I say this time, it has usually been Arambaru, although Lookman has given as good as he's got in the game so far. One game going on in the Premier League at the moment. 10 minutes gone in the second half. That's Stamford Bridge, where it's Chelsea 0, Manchester United 1. Mateus Cunha scoring a couple of minutes before half-time to give the Red Devils the lead. In this red against blue clash, it's the Blues, or the blue and whites at least, who are leading by 2-1, but they've got a free kick to defend. Julian Alvarez comes across to the left wing to take it. Plenty of red and white shirts to aim for. Alvarez curls it in. It's a dangerous one, but nobody gets a touch. And it was left cleverly by the back line by Real Sociedad. In the end, a whipped free kick, but despite it being into the right kind of area, there was no one to make contact on it. Atletico Madrid fans in good voice despite trailing by 2-1. They will be playing Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals. If they can't turn this game around in the Champions League, it will be their last chance of silverware this season. haven't won a trophy since 2021. That was the La Liga title, before that the 2018 Europa League. They have won the ball back again though in the middle of the park. Marcos Llorente. Recycling the ball, and they find Julian Alvarez in space in the middle. He goes wide. Alamaro Lookman on the edge of the area. Lookman trying to cut inside. Then he tried to take on about 2 or 3 defenders at once there, and it almost worked out for him. Eventually gets crowded out. Not the best clearance from Real Sociedad, and they've given away a throw-in. Still fairly deep in their territory, which Atleti have taken. Ruggieri now into Koke. Llorente just lets Koke take over again. The quarterback marshalling his troops ahead of him. Squares to Llorente wide. He goes for, Nahuel Molina's out there. Alvarez again, 30 yards from goal in a central position. Finds Griezmann. And Llorente now steps away nicely from his marker, and his cross from the right-hand side of the box is blocked, and it's gone out for another corner kick. And that's all Atletico Madrid at the moment. Corner in a dangerous position for the mattress makers. Corner in a dangerous position. That's a rather silly phrase. Corner towards the near post, headed away. The corner taker, Antoine Griezmann, will prevent it from going out for a throw. Keeps the pressure on. Infield to Nahuel Molina. Now Koke floats one in, but aware of his bearings there, Unai Marrero. Koke has his left arm out in apology, and it's a left arm that's bleeding. It's obviously been caught at some point early in the second half. Quite sure when that would have happened. Clearance from Marrero is just flicked on and goes out of play. Atleti work the throw in back to the goalkeeper again. Clearance from Musso bounces up in front of Alvarez, but he's able to nod the ball out wide to Lookman. And it's come back by Ruggieri to the goalkeeper once again. We've played 10 minutes in the second half. Not quite the same dramatic start as we had in the first, but Griezmann and Alvarez are now trying to create something magical for Atleti, and the pass from Alvarez looking for Lookman was really nicely cut out by John Aramburu. Out of play it goes. Throw in taken by Atleti. Ruggieri short to Alvarez. Alvarez just waiting for a bit of support to arrive. Finds it in Koke. Koke square. Pubil. He and Lenormand's now fairly deep in the Real Sociedad half. Antoine Griezmann links up nicely on the right and pulls the ball across, and Marrero had to dive down quickly to smother that one. Nice work between Griezmann and Llorente on the right-hand side. They are putting plenty of pressure on in the second half, Atletico Madrid. But Marrero has not really been tested. He's come out and claimed a couple of things very nicely, commanding his area. But in terms of shots, he's not really had anything to deal with. That's got to change from an Atleti perspective. And now they've given away a free kick in their own half. Miguel Oyarzabal, having received a long clearance forward, able to protect the ball as his shirt was being pulled by Robin Lenormand. Lenormand has to be careful. He's on a yellow card, of course. There's been some concern looked on the Real Sociedad fans' faces early in this second half, but perhaps something to smile about here. And it really would be a bit of a smash and grab if they can open up a 2-goal lead. Free kick into the area. It's not really cleared away yet, and I think The referee's whistle has gone. We're going to play on. Turientes' shot would have counted had it beaten Musso. Not like everybody inside the area just stopped there for a moment after a bit of a tussle for the ball. Play to the whistle, as my PE teacher always told me. Lookman now in field. Alvarez. There's just a bit more spark about Atletico Madrid at the moment. Alvarez out wide. Ruggeri on the left wing. Back in field now. Koke. Plenty of space for Llorente as they work it across to the right-hand side. Simeone's out there. Back in field. Llorente. Nahuel Molina's arrived in support. Griezmann at the corner of the area. They're just lacking that killer pass at the moment, Atletico Madrid. Square again between Ruggeri and Koke. Then the attempted pass forward cut out by Barnechea, but it's back with the men in red and white again, although they've had to retreat right back to the goalkeeper. It's everything bar that final ball at the moment for the side in red and white, who have had 55% of the ball. Not doing enough with it though. Llorente trying to burst forward but couldn't take Griezmann's pass in his stride, and no foul, says the referee, as Llorente hits the deck under pressure from Gomez. Ball runs away from him harmlessly in the end to Unai Marrero. The side from the Basque Country leading the side from the capital city at the moment, the Chiri Udin. And you've got plenty to be cheery about. We are approaching the hour mark. We're in the 60th minute of the game. This is the stadium where Jose Mourinho's Porto beat Celtic in the UEFA Cup final 23 years ago now, and it's another side from the Iberian Peninsula in blue and white stripes who are enjoying their warm spring evening so far. But again, Llorente, who's becoming more and more involved, getting a bit of space now on the right hand side, trying to cut in field away from Guedes, pulls it across, Lookman's there, and Lookman puts it over the top. That was one of the better chances that Atleti have had in this second half, as we do now hit the hour mark. But again, they are not doing enough to test Unai Marrero, who kept a clean sheet in both legs. Well, I'll correct myself, he kept a clean sheet in the first leg of the semi-final. Alex Remiro played in the first leg. And they've had to really do this the hard way, Atletico. They've had to come through tough games against sides who know them very well. It was almost a regional competition for them. They played Osasuna, who are part of that greater Basque region in the north of Navarro. Beat them on penalties in the round of 16. Then they played a Basque side proper in Alaves, beat them 3-2 in a dramatic quarter-final. Then Athletic Club, their big rivals, but friendly rivals, from Bilbao, won 2-0 on aggregate. And they are leading the final now against one of the capital's finest. Down the line from Koke, looking for Llorente again, and former Manchester City man Sergio Gomez has to just turn that one away for a corner. They are coming under some pressure, and it's the two men who have scored against Real Sociedad this season in La Liga who are going to be coming on in the 62nd minute of the game, and it's the goal scorer from today, Ademola Lookman. He's been withdrawn. He's going to be replaced by Nicolas Gonzalez. And there's going to be a change in shape because they're taking off a fullback. They're taking off Matteo Ruggeri, and they've thrown on another striker. Alexander Soloth, the big Norwegian. There's more than one big Norwegian, don't you know? He comes on to try and disrupt things. Corner comes in, it's towards the near post, not the best again from Griezmann. Back out to him, that's a better delivery, but again headed away at the edge of the 6-yard box. Llorente with a flailing header just to try and keep the pressure on. It seems to have worked out because Alvarez is onto the loose ball. Now Koke links up with Simeone on the left-hand side. Alvarez now in space, 35 yards out. He's going to take the shot on, and it wasn't the worst effort. But the deflection took all the sting out of it, and it was a very, very easy gather in the end for the goalkeeper. Finally, an effort on target in the second half for Los Colchoneros. Just to confirm those changes again, Matteo Ruggeri and Adamola Lukman off, replaced by Alexander Surloth and Nico Gonzalez, and still Atleti come forward in search of that equaliser. Griezmann playing almost as a right winger at the moment. He's linking up with Koke. Looks to try and play the crossover. Griezmann goes square to Alvarez. Alvarez 25 yards out, just shovels the ball out to Gonzalez on that left-hand side. Now the shots from Alvarez goes wide. It was almost better to go for the cross there. I'm not 100% sure if that's what he was intending or not. It's kind of a cross-come shot from the Argentinian World Cup winner. And a few of those faces around the ground decked out in red and white have changed in the last few minutes. They were encouraging, full of hope. Now a few of them starting to look a little bit anxious. That's Pellegrino Matarazzo is getting ready his first changes, but play continues for now. More just punted long in the general direction of Alvarez, and it's taken down by Koke, but he can't find a teammate. Slip through down the line on the right hand side from Barrenechea. He slips, but he's able to recover his footing and possession, but then he shows too much of it to Gonzalez. One back by Arambaru, but unfairly upends Julian Alvarez, another Manchester City player, of course. Arambaru, who's starting to rack up the fouls. He'll surely be a candidate for next man to go in the referee's notebook. I mentioned one win in the last 6 from Atleti. You extend their form period, they have slightly better 4 wins in 9 since the second leg of the semi-final, when they were well beaten by Barcelona, but held on thanks to that fantastic 4-0 win in the first leg. They are hoping to improve that form further, but they're being frustrated in the second half by Real Sociedad. Nice ball out to the left wing. Alvarez is there. Just knocks it back to Gonzalez and under pressure. Square then from Koke. Alvarez again. Surloth, of course, has gone into the centre forward role. He's not really getting involved in the play. On the left wing is Gonzalez. Molina still over on that right hand side. Koke now Lenormand. Marcos Llorente seems to have taken up that place on the right wing. He was the target of a crossfield ball there from Lenormand. Ball just gets knocked out of play. Throw in taken, the cross comes in, and it's an orthodox punch away by Unai Marrero. Still under pressure here, Real Sociedad. It's with Nico Gonzalez now. Koke in the middle, he's 40-45 yards from goal. Links up with Gonzalez with a couple of square balls. Trying to turn away from Barrenechea. Attempted cross now from Nico Gonzalez. It takes a nick off Beñat Turrientes, and it's gone out for another corner. All the corners in the first half for Real Sociedad, all the corners in the second for Atletico Madrid, but in fact it's substitution time and there's going to be 2 for each side. And that was the last action from Beñat Turrientes. He's going to be withdrawn. Waiting to see who it is he's going to be replaced by as we hit the midpoint in the second half. 67.5 minutes gone. Torriente's taking his time to leave the field. He is going to be replaced by John Gorot-Chattegai. And the man who scored the opening goal, Ander Barnechea, is also being withdrawn. And Pablo Marin comes on to replace him. Marin, an attacking midfielder. Gorot-Chattegai, more of a defensive midfielder, so rather like-for-like changes from Pellegrino Matarazzo. Doesn't feel the need to change his shape so far as Atleti keep coming. Corner comes to nothing, but they've won themselves another throw. Gonzalez wants to get some distance on this one, encouraging his teammates to get inside the box. Does get plenty of distance on the throw, but it's headed back out to him. He then goes short. Koke floats across. It's too close to the goalkeeper. Nice catch by Unai Marrero. Under a little bit of pressure, has to be said. They're still waiting to make their two changes. In fact, the game continued. The numbers 10 and 11 waiting patiently to come on. Alex Baena and Thiago Almada are going to be the next two into the action. And the game continues for now. Real Sociedad maintaining possession inside their own half, but they are not really looking comfortable on the ball. As I say that, nice switch out wide, but it's not taken down by Mikel Oyarzabal. Seemed to motion that he needs a drink maybe, or needs to come off. He doesn't seem too happy, and finally those third and fourth Atleti changes are going to be made, and the manager takes off his son. Giuliano Simeone is taken off for the final 20 minutes. Thiago Almada replaces him, and Antoine Griezmann will not have his dream moment in the final. He comes off as well. Griezmann and Simeone off. And it's Alex Baena and Thiago Almada, both of them primarily left wingers. Surely one of them is going to operate a bit more centrally. They are on for the final 20 minutes. Just one more change available for Diego Simeone. Thiago Almada, arrival from Botafogo at the start of the season, did score against Betis in the quarter-final. That was a big win, a 5-0 win for Atletico Madrid. They were racking up the goals in the competition before the second leg defeat against Barcelona. I wonder if that did knock their confidence somewhat, but here they come again with Julian Alvarez through the middle. He's got a man out wide, finds it, floats across in, it's just beyond Marcos Llorente. Decent attempted cross. Baena, who's just come on. And again, another good catch from the goalkeeper, Unai Marrero, who never been capped to any level. Very much the second choice this season. He's only played in the Copa del Rey, not played at all in La Liga. Proving to be a very worthy backup so far. Another ball that comes into the box. Fight for it. Almada goes down, and no foul, says the referee. There's still a big moment in this game, you feel. We've still got 18 minutes of the 90 to play. Almada, and there was certainly no foul there by Carlos Soler, the nearest man to him. Just stood his ground there. A wag of the finger, and the referee agrees. It will just be a goal kick. Pellegrino Matarazzo, who tried to break into Italian football at the lower leagues after getting a degree in applied mathematics from Columbia University. Spent his rather short career in the lower leagues of German football before becoming a coach at Nuremberg and Hoffenheim. Eventually got the head coaching role at Stuttgart. Short spell then back at Hoffenheim in the top role. It's just his 19th game in Spanish football. For his first major honour as a player or a manager. The 48-year-old from New Jersey. He's trying to see out this victory. There's 17 minutes of the 90 to go, and his side are still under pressure. Ball chipped into the area for Alvarez to chase, but again, goalkeeper Marrero comes and claims, and I think a lot of managers might have gone with the first choice Alex Ramiro in the final, but no, he's stayed faithful, Matarazzo, to Unai Marrero, and he's repaying that faith so far. I don't want to I realise I'm putting a huge commentator's curse on the goalkeeper. That's the last thing I want to do, but he is coming under pressure. Wide from Koke to Almada on the right wing. Almada infield to fellow new man Alex Baena. Baena 30 yards out in the centre, nowhere to move, finds Llorente. Back out to Nahuel Molina. Almada takes over again from Baena. Llorente, they're all queuing up over on that far side. All threaded through. Molina, and he did go a little bit earlier, it looked like it. The assistant just waiting for the right moment to put his flag up. Oh, and in the end, I think it wasn't the right choice, the right decision. John Martin, I think, in the centre was playing him on, but a difficult call that for the assistant. Wasn't crucial in the end. And once again, the blue and white scarves, the green, red and white flags of the Basque Country being waved. Real Sociedad, who first played in the final back in 1913, only ever lifted the famous old trophy twice. They're 50 minutes away, plus added time from their third. They started off in round one against 6th tier Negreira, 3-0 win, and then played Reyes of the 4th tier, beat them 2-0. Eldense, a narrow 2-1 win against the 3rd tier side in the round of 32. Then the games I mentioned against Osasuna, Alaves and Athletic Club, they beat all of their local La Liga rivals en route to this final. Atletico Madrid certainly didn't have it easy. They played Real Betis and Barcelona in the previous 2 rounds. Whoever lifts this trophy is going to be worthy winners. Cross from the right, doesn't quite reach Alexander Surlov. It's headed away well. But Atleti still coming and coming. Baena to Almada, now wide. Llorente in space. Another cross comes in. Another one headed away nicely this time by Carlos Soler. Lenormand picks up the pieces. Short ball to Koke, who still is trying to find that special formula to unlock this deepening and deepening Real Sociedad line, and then one poor challenge from Almada and the move is over, the pressure is over. It's a foul by Thiago Almada, catching Mikel Oyarzabal, who was trying to bring the ball away. Nothing malicious, but certainly a foul. And an opportunity for Real Sociedad to take time off the clock. And in fact, they're going to be making another change. Another 2, in fact. Ian Munoz and Orri Oskarsson are waiting to come on. The number 10 is up. It's the end of the evening for Mikel Oyarzabal. If this one does end up going to penalties, they won't be able to call upon his services again. Number 9 of Orri Oskarsson The Icelander comes on in his stead. And also, they are going to be making their final change. Atletico Madrid. Oyarzábal now coming on for Oscarson. The Muñoz has already come on, but I did not see who it was he replaced. I'll get confirmation of that soon enough. And Nahuel Molina has been withdrawn and replaced by the American Johnny Cardoso. 12 minutes of the game left. Atleti have used all 5 of their changes. They've taken another fullback off and brought on another midfielder. There's barely any defenders left out there for Diego Simeone's side. If they do get back into this game, they might have some defensive struggles in extra time. Corocha commits a foul though. In fact, no, the referee decided it's just going to be a throw-in for Real Sociedad. A long throw from Arambaru in the general direction of Luka Sucic, but it goes out of play. Goal kick taken short. Up to the halfway line on the right-hand side. Real Sociedad again getting everybody behind the ball. Johnny Cardoso gets his first touches. It's threaded through. Where's it going to break in the middle? Shot comes in. It was Baena who got his foot to that one. Ricochets away. It stayed in play, in fact. Real Sociedad now looking to break down the right-hand side. Ball over the top and chasing really hard. Down the right-hand side is Pablo Marin. Marin gets beyond his man, gets to the byline, tries to pull it across, and Robin Linamand was in the way. It's going to be a corner to Real Sociedad, and that's exactly what they needed to relieve a lot of pressure they've been facing for what I'm sure to them feels like hours. In fact, it was Gonzalo Guedes who came off a few minutes ago to be replaced by Ian Muñoz. So an attacking wide man off and a defensive one on. Corner taken by Real Sociedad. They still want to try and attack this corner at least. But they now are at risk of being caught on the break. Poor challenge, but the referee plays advantage. Julian Alvarez out wide. Now Baena. Almada now gets the edge of the area and he gets crowded out. Real Sociedad getting in just enough men back. And the referee has called a halt because Corocha is down. John Corocha-Tegui seems to have a problem with, I think it's his right ankle. He lost his boot in that little coming together with Almada. He was right on the edge of the area. So just to confirm those changes a moment ago, Gonzalo Guedes came off for Ian Muñoz. Ori Oscarson came on for Mikel Oyarzábal. Nahuel Molina came off for Johnny Cardoso. And we've got 8.5 minutes of the 90 to play. And the minutes are ticking away from Atletico Madrid. Antoine Griezmann has played his final minutes in the Copa del Rey. And he comes off the field with his side trailing by 2-1. In the full-back position now, Marcos Llorente, helping to provide a bit of extra cover. He's gone back to the goalkeeper. They're going to build up from the back. Marc Pubil bringing the ball forward. There's almost no one even daring to get within 10 yards of him because they want to sit back so far. Koke brings it over the halfway line unchallenged. Squares it again to Pubil, who's now 15 yards inside Real Sociedad territory. Wide they go now. Nico Gonzalez puts in a dangerous cross. It's just flicked away at the back. Llorente now over the top. Oh, and there's the moment. There's the moment that's been coming for pretty much this whole second half with 7.5 minutes to go. Julian Alvarez has equalised for Atletico Madrid. It looked like it just wasn't going to come. It just wasn't going to be their night. But Julian Alvarez, the star of this team so many times, has got the Atleti fans on their feet with 7 minutes to play. It was well worked by Nico Gonzalez, but his cross looked to be a little bit too deep. Munoz has tried to flick it away, but on the right-hand side, Marcos Llorente was there to keep the pressure on. He just knocked the ball back in field. And a little touch from Thiago Almada took it to Julian Alvarez on the edge of the area, who leathered it with his left foot. And Unai Marrero was rooted to the middle of his goal. He did not stand a chance with that one as it flew past him on his left side. Not quite in the top corner from Julian Alvarez, but it didn't need to be. Such was the ferocity at which he hit that one. And they're level again, Atletico Madrid. Real Sociedad, they look like they were on course for a first Copa in nearly 40 years, but they're going to have to come again, because with 6 minutes now of the 90 left, it's Atletico Madrid 2, Real Sociedad 2. We still wait for the winning moment in the 2026 Spanish Cup final. And Atleti, who have used all 5 changes and gone very attacking, are now at risk of being exposed, but it seems like attack is going to be their best form of defence. And Real Sociedad, who have tried to shore things up in the final few minutes, they still continue to sit back. The Atleti fans are bouncing up and down on their half of the ground, which their players are attacking, their players are feeding off. They've won themselves another free kick in a dangerous area. Are they going to turn this around at the death? It was Carlos Soler there with a frustrated challenge on Koke after Sergio Gomez had tried to bring him down already. There's still going to be time for a winner in added time. We're inside the final 5 minutes now of the 90. There's going to be a decent chunk of time added on. And now the pressure is all on Real Sociedad once again. Free kick into a dangerous area, headed up but not quite away. It's going to be collected on the left wing. Heavy pass back to Baena, but they still keep the pressure on. Koke and Llorente, they combine. It's back with Koke now, almost on the halfway line, but everyone ahead of him. Julian Alvarez comes deep. Alvarez trying to keep the ball away from Gorachatege. Alvarez again. He's got a man on his outside, but just knocks it back to Johnny Cardoso. Infield, Koke. 5, 6, 7 yards inside Real Sociedad half. Burst of speed then from Thiago Almada. It doesn't really work out. Maybe a chance now for Real Sociedad to break. They've still got attacking options with Suchet trying to just chip it forward at the halfway line, but it's blocked. And coming away with it is Nico Gonzalez, but his pass is poor. Doesn't matter though, because Llorente wins it back. Soloff feeds Llorente. It's the area. Is this the moment? Oh, over the top. That was surely his and heads in hands moment. It was Alex Baena arriving. It looked like he had the simplest defense. He might have been offside. Dangerous ball across the corridor of uncertainty from Marcos Llorente. Marrero couldn't get there. And with his first touch, he ballooned it over the bar. Alex Baena. Llorente down on the floor. Simeone down on the floor. Baena down on the floor. All of them with their heads in their hands. Was that the winning moment for Atletico Madrid? Real Sociedad are bringing on a more attacking player now. They've taken off Sergio Gomez. And they're bringing on Takefusa Kubo, the Japanese, for the final 2.5 minutes, plus added time, and as things stand, plus extra time. Goal kick cleared by Marrero. Oscarson looking interested, but Atleti take control. Not the best clearance though by Musso. It's now Real Sociedad's turn. They've just brought on one fresh attacker, and suddenly they have that confidence, that belief to just push out a little bit further, and it's working for them for the moment. Down goes Kubo. Has he won the free kick? No, says the referee. We play on. Atletico Madrid midway inside their own half. They just slow the tempo down. Allow a couple of players to get back into position. They go square into the middle now with Lenormand. He links up with his centre-back partner, Marc Pubil. Okay, again. Marcos Llorente now chips it down the line, and there's another man out there. Julian Alvarez, his cross gets deflected out. It's another corner inside the final 90 seconds of the 90 minutes. Julian Alvarez playing like a man possessed. He was the one who struck to reignite Atletico Madrid's chances of winning the Copa del Rey. Winning it for the outgoing Antoine Griezmann, who's gone off the bench. He's got to rely on his teammates now. Poor corner though. Easily cleared away at the near post, but kept alive by Alex Baena. He will put the cross in. Dangerous on Solos there climbing, and he's put it wide. I'm not sure if he was going for goal there or just trying to knock it down to a teammate at the near post. And he couldn't direct it either way. Cardoso was reaching, but he was never getting there. I think it did sort of come off the side of his head there, Surloth. They've had their chances even since equalising. They've had chances to win this one. Atletico Madrid, will that haunt them? Both teams now have made 5 changes. They should have an extra one in extra time if we get there, but we've still got 5 minutes to play. 90 minutes are up, 5 minutes of added time. Will we have a dramatic late winner? Ball falls kindly for Alvarez in the middle of the park. Koke now. He lets Almada take over. Almada just waits for a couple of runners to go ahead of him. Finds one in the form of Marcos Llorente. Back heel. And now in field again to Almada. Baena. Poke through. This is the chance surely to win it. Oh, incredible save. Incredible save to deny Nico Gonzalez. That was surely the winning moment. In fact, it was Johnny Cardoso with a shot, and it's been given as a goal kick, but I think the referee and linesman missed it. Lovely little poke through by Julian Alvarez, and Cardoso had the freedom of the penalty area to win it there for Atletico Madrid. There was a touch from Unai Marrero, but I don't think it would have been a decisive one. I think it was going to go wide anyway. 1 minute of the 5 have elapsed now. If there's going to be a winner, it's looking likely to be Atletico Madrid one, but it was Atleti who were finishing the first half the stronger before Real Sociedad scored that late penalty. And they're going to need a quick moment against the run of play if they're going to seal victory here, La Real. Atleti are on the ball again, but they're inside their own area and under a bit of pressure. Musso finally clears it away, looking for Surloth. Surloth, though, beaten to it by Jean Martin. His header, though, kept in play. Finally booted out by Baena with a touch, and Martin just knocks it out of play. It's going to be thrown for Atleti, which they've taken into Koke. Koke just drifts back into his own half. 2 of the 5 minutes have been played. Minimum of 5, of course. Almada now looking ahead of him. He's a few yards inside the Sociedad half. Just has to go back to Pubil. Now Lenormand. Alex Baena takes over, a bit of a heavy touch, but he's able to get away with it because Sociedad is sitting so deep. Koke now on the right hand side, thinks about the cross, and just comes short to Baena instead. Almada forward, another lovely little flick from Julian Alvarez, but doesn't quite work out. He's trying to win the ball back as Real Sociedad struggled to clear. They finally do, but they've had to concede another throw in. Another one inside their own half. Thiago Almada forward to Baena, can't slot it through this time to Julian Alvarez, but Baena trying to work hard to win the ball back, as is Llorente, but somehow Pablo Marin is able to hold on to possession and Real Sociedad can get it clear, but only up to the halfway line. And again Atleti are coming. Atleti keep pushing. Thiago Almada 30 yards out in the centre, forward now. Past one is Julian Alvarez. We can't evade the second, but he's drawn the foul. They can't believe it. Real Sociedad. It's a free kick, and this one is in shooting range for Julian Alvarez. It's just on the right hand side as Atletico Madrid look at it, and it's 25 yards out. It was maybe a silly foul conceded by Carlos Soler, who's had a great game for Real Sociedad, but he's put his side under all sorts of pressure. Right at the end of this game, 94 minutes have been played. We are now inside the last of the 5 minutes that were added on, and there's a free kick in shooting range. It's not on the right side for Julian Alvarez, a right footer. He might have to try and shoot this one across the goalkeeper or try and beat him at that near post. He certainly fancies it though. The only other man standing over it is Nico Gonzalez. There's a 4-man wall for Real Sociedad plus a draft excluder. Rocha doing the dirty work. There's also a 2-man Atleti wall to try and disrupt Unai Marrero's view. It's still Alvarez and Gonzalez standing over this one. A couple of players lurking for a potential little short pass. Alvarez to take it into the wall. Breaks back. Llorente, clean strike. Oh, and just wide. That was a wonderful strike from Marcos Llorente, and Marrero didn't move a muscle. He just had to watch that one sail a yard wide of his right-hand post. That would have been some winner from Marcos Llorente. And that is where the game finishes. At least that's where the first 90 plus minutes finish. The final of the 2026 Copa del Rey will go to extra time. We've got a couple of minutes before we get underway again. Julian Alvarez in the 83rd minute has ensured that the Copa del Rey is still not decided. His goal was the only one in the second half. It's after 90 minutes. Atleti 2, Real Sociedad 2. Join me again in a couple of minutes and we'll see what happens. Welcome back once again, ladies and gents, to Flash Scores Live, an unofficial audio commentary coverage of the Copa del Rey final. We're about to get underway in extra time. Julian Alvarez equalising in the 83rd minute, and it's thanks to him that we will have an extra 30 minutes of play. It seems a long time already since Ander Barnechea gave Real Sociedad a first minute lead. Adamola Lookman then equalised Penalty from Mikel Oyarzabal at the end of the first half. Looked for a long time to have been enough for Real Sociedad to win just a third Copa del Rey, but no. Powerful strike from the edge of the area from the Argentinian Alvarez. This meant we'll have another 30 minutes. Real Sociedad to kick us off, going from right to left as I look at things on my screen. And they start extra time just as they started the match by going straight back to the goalkeeper, Marreiro, who clears out to the left-hand side, but there's no Gonzalo Guedes this time to put a cross in for Ander Barnechea. Both of them have been substituted. In fact, Atleti win themselves a throw, which Marcos Llorente takes. Doesn't really come to much. And will be a Real Sociedad throw. A few yards further forwards. Ian Munoz to take. Looking for options. Finds one in Oscarson. Oscarson in field to Soler, but he loses out. Gets crowded out by Johnny Cardoso amongst others, and Cardoso will bring it forward into Real Sociedad territory. Baena just tries to play it against Arambaru. Doesn't really work out. Arambaru holds his ground, wins possession. Oscarson now under pressure. Plays it nicely in field to Soler. Ian Munoz. Now Jean Martin and Duye Chaletatzar combined. Chaletatzar was receiving some treatment. I'm not sure if it was just to keep the muscles nice and warm or whether it was actually a problem. And he was receiving some attention nonetheless during the short break. Won back nicely by Takefusa Kubo, the freshest legs in the Real Sociedad side, and he goes down. He's still sat down as his frustrating look on his face as the referee doesn't give him a foul. And now Atleti through the middle. Alex Baena, he doesn't quite get his angles right with the through ball to Julian Alvarez, and onto it was Unai Marrero quickly out to his right. It's a forceful challenge from Baena on Kubo, but I think a legal one. Referees certainly thought so. 64% possession for Atletico Madrid in this game. That just shows you how they've dominated, particularly in that second half. Sociedad desperately trying to hold on to their lead bit. It just looked like the goal will come eventually, but Kubo now, he's threaded through. Oscarson trying to get away, gets to the edge of the area. Good covering by Marcos Llorente, forces the Icelander out. Gets a bit of support now. Kubo now to John Goracha. Goracha into Soler. Soler runs down a bit of a blind alley, loses out. And Atleti can bring it away. They move it on to Thiago Almada. Almada over the top to Surloth. Surloth just knocks it back. Julian Alvarez gets a bit of support in the form of Alex Baena. Now wide to Thiago Almada. Comes in from the right wing. He's midway inside Real Sociedad territory. Okay. Infield. From Marcos Llorente, back out to Koke, operating as a winger, decent cross. Surloth not quite able to get across his man, and that man was Arambaru, who's gone down under pressure from the Norwegian. Foul given. In the evening's Premier League game, one goal was enough in the end for Manchester United to inflict another defeat on Chelsea. Mateus Cunha with the goal late in the first half. Manchester United staying in third, and much needed win. Michael Carrick's side, who have fallen out of form a little bit, but not as much as Chelsea. Another defeat for them. They remain in sixth. And Liverpool and Aston Villa have a chance to cement those Champions League places further. To the Copa del Rey. Ball back to Musso. Oh, he's made a hash of his clearance. It's looped up in the air and gone out for a throw-in. Quite deep into their own territory, and an opportunity for Ian Munoz to launch a throw-in into the box. Munoz, one of the 5 changes to Matarazzo's side in the second half. Plenty of distance on it, scrambling around, it's going to break. Shot comes in from Soler, it's blocked. And now another shot comes in, another one blocked. Oscarson's in there as well, scrapping around, and they finally get it clear. 3 shots blocked in a matter of seconds there, as it's Atleti's turn for their backs to be against the wall. We've played 5 minutes in extra time. The shot on target counts 4 each. Neither side particularly accurate with their finishing, but it's nonetheless been a game with plenty of action around the 2 penalty areas. Better clearance this time from Musso, although it was hard to have a worse one. Foul won by Koke. Another one conceded by Soler. This one 10 yards inside Atleti's territory in the centre. It was a really poor attempted clearance from Marc Pubil in the first place. It started that flurry of blocked shots from Real Sociedad. Pablo Marin not able to find an outlet, and Thiago Almada now can bring it away, but he almost got caught in 2 minds, and Takefusa Kubo just came and took the ball away from him. It's ricocheted out of play for a throw-in inside Atleti's half of the field, over on the far side. The Atleti left, the Sociedad right, and it is in fact a Sociedad throw. They work back into their own half. Duye Chaleta seems to be moving okay, at least early on in this extra time period. Nice little 1-2 between Oscarson and Marin. Marin coming away with it. He plays it out over to the right hand side. Kubo wants to cut in field. Just lays the ball off. Decent shot. He's going to break. Oscarson! Oh, wonderful double save. Fantastic double save from Juan Musso to keep the scores level. He didn't really cover himself in glory with the first effort, because he just batted it straight to Ori Oscarson. Oscarson did everything right. Decent contact with the left foot shot. Credit to Musso, he just got up. I think it came off his face, in fact. The Argentinian 31-year-old making a key save for Atletico Madrid. That's taken the shot on target count up a little bit. Corner now. No, that's a complete waste. Awful corner from Carlos Soler. Over everybody and out for a goal kick. Five wins, 2 draws, just 1 defeat in all competitions for Real Sociedad. They know how to hold on to leads the best of times, but that 1 loss in those 8, guess what? It was against Atletico Madrid when these sides met in their match at the Metropolitano on the 7th of March. And they've made their last change, Atletico Madrid, and it's perhaps a surprising one, because they've taken off Marcos Llorente and brought on a centre-back, Clement Longley. It might work out for them, because there's a chance now, and the chance has opened up for Alex Baena. I don't know what he was trying to do with it, trying to pull it across for Saul, but he completely overhit his cross. Now Koke, after Almada kept it alive, and then off the angle of post and bar, Julian Alvarez from 25 yards out. Sorry if it kind of caught me by surprise, that whole attack, because there was almost nothing in it. Ball just suddenly broke for Alex Baena, who was completely wasteful with his cross. Couldn't find Solot in the middle. Thiago Almada kept it alive on the Atleti right-hand side. Worked it in via Koke too. Alvarez 25 yards out. What a hit out of absolutely nothing. Right against the angle of post and bar and out for a goal kick. After Musso was a hero at the other end, almost a perfect chance for Atleti, and you have to say that would have been somewhat against the run of play. We played 10 minutes of the extra time period, and we await our winning goal. Heavy touch then from Thiago Almada. He has the one-sided throw in after Munoz came across. Just to confirm that change, which was still being made, really, if you know what I mean. And Atleti went on that last attack. Marcos Llorente off and Clement Longley on. Ball breaks in the middle, though, now for Carlos Soler. Soler tries to feed Oscarson, just couldn't quite connect the pass. Too many red and white bodies in the way. And now Atleti coming forward down the left. His end-to-end stuff at the moment, and Alvarez still at the heart of everything. He's gone down, got sandwiched by a couple of Real Sociedad players, and he's won another free kick. Another one on the wing. It's being shown a replay of that double save from Musso a few minutes ago. And the reaction from the Real Sociedad fans, they know that they've been up against it pretty much since the start of the second half. They haven't had too many chances. They've lost their lead, and maybe that was the biggest one they're going to get. Free kick now for Atletico Madrid. A chance to curl the ball into the Sociedad penalty area. They do just that, but it's headed away nicely. Then it's thumped forward by Alex Baena on the volley, but that gets well blocked. They try to break away with Pablo Marin, but they're stopped in their tracks before they get up to the halfway line. Real Sociedad, and they're coming forward again. Ball curled into the area, too close to Marrero this time. He rolls it out to Ayen Munoz. Doesn't really seem to have the support to launch a quick attack, so back to Chalatetza he goes, and in turn to Marrero. Marrero's clearance up to the halfway line, taken down by Marc Pubil. Okay, now collects the ball from Lenormand. Longley now. Ball forward, just knocked down nicely into the path of Alvarez. Alvarez on the left-hand side. Back to Koke, 30 yards out. Koke, and that was a bit of a miscommunication there on the left-hand side between Robin Lenormand and Nico Gonzalez. We're a couple of minutes away from half-time and extra time. Other than the substitution, not really had any stoppages, so I'm not sure if we're really going to get too much in the way of added time. It's Atleti pushing for the winning goal at the moment. They are forced back for the moment to the halfway line. Thiago Almada now looking to create something. Has to go square to Marc Pubil, who's happy to get forward now. He has that extra support in the form of Clement Longley. Koke goes square to the aforementioned Clement Longley. Back again to the 34-year-old Koke, who's still full of energy, full of running. Alvarez trying to force it through nicely to Surlov. Holds it up. Opportunity now. Surlov trying to link up with Baena. Just couldn't complete the 1-2. Real Sociedad in defensive mode again, just booting it away. Koke now combining with Pubil. Floated across into the area, and that was an easier one for Unai Marrero. In the meantime, Sociedad have had a player go down in the area. Looks like a touch of cramp, or it might be something a bit worse. And it's John Arambaru who's hit the deck, and looks to be in a spot of bother. He is now being helped to his feet. I don't think it's cramp. I think he seems to have twisted something maybe, or pulled a muscle. It will just be the token 1 minute added on. At the end of the first half of extra time. Long clearance from Real Sociedad goalkeeper to get us back underway, and then another foul. This one committed by Johnny Cardoso on Gorocha. Now an opportunity. The dead ball 10 yards inside Atleti territory. Opportunity to try and launch the ball forward. It will be difficult to create a shooting opportunity from here, but they're going to try something. Ball floated towards the edge of the area. Not the best delivery, and that is the end of the first half of extra time. No goals as of yet, but big chances for both sides. Alvarez hitting the post. Musso with a key save from Oscarson. It's still Atleti. His goal in the second half levelled the tie on the night, and Alexander Solo gets us underway for the final 15 minutes, in which we will either have a winning goal or we will go to penalties. Ball cleared down the right hand side, just goes out of play, and Arambaru, who was able to continue after that injury scare, will take the throw in for Real Sociedad. Get some distance on it. As Cardoso square. Instead just goes out. Baena's. We're back into the middle with Clement Longley. Longley happy to get forward, as is Gonzalez. Back inside now to Alex Baena. Square again to Thiago Almada. Got players hopping up in different positions. Johnny Cardoso now playing in a more central role. Out wide, cross is drilled. Able just to roll it out. Start another attack for the Chiriodin. Munoz able to turn on the left hand side, get some distance on his clearance. Might break here for Pablo Marin. Holds off a challenge in field. Lovely little switcher play there from Sucic. Forward to Oscarson on the left hand side. Gets inside the area. Needs a bit of support now. Lays it back. Sucic. His shot is blocked. And the flag is up, I think, for offside. Potentially against Oscarson. They're just waiting for the move to come to its natural conclusion. Oscarson has looked dangerous since he came on for Miguel Oyarzabal. Sucic not really been in the game as much since the first half, but still continuing to look dangerous. He now has Kubo and Marin on his outside. And we've had 107 minutes, almost 108 minutes of football. Still, the Copa del Rey final does not have a name engraved on the trophy for 2026. Another long ball comes to nothing, too far ahead of Soloth, who raises his arms in frustration, and now Duye Chaletatsa seems to have a problem again. He was receiving treatment after 90 minutes. The referee just checking on how he is. I think the Croatian is happy to soldier on. The current 11 out there for Real Sociedad is Marrero, Aramburu, Martin, Chaletatsa, Munoz, Corocha, Soler, Kubo, Sucic, Marin and Oskarsson. For Atleti it's Musso, Fubil, Lenormand, Longley, Cardoso, Koke, Baena, Almada, Gonzalez, Soloth and Alvarez. There has been a huge number of changes in the second half. And indeed in extra time. I'm even losing track on which part of the game we're in. You're not missing anything while I completely ramble. Bit of a scrappy passage of play in the middle of the park before a foul on Marin by Marc Pubil gives Real Sociedad a free kick in a reasonably promising position. It's wide on the left, but a good 45 plus yards from goal. So it'll take a decent delivery here. It looks like Ian Munoz is the most likely candidate to take this one, although Carlos Soler is lingering. And in fact, it might suit Soler a bit better. It will be his in-swing with a right foot, or an outswinger from Munoz. Atleti keeping the offside line well outside the area, and it is Soler who puts it in. Not the worst ball into the box. It's bouncing around, then finally breaks for Sucic at the edge of the area. Kubo now. Kubo gets the dead ball line but can't find a teammate with his ball across, then it ricochets out of play off Pablo Marin and out for a throw-in for Atletico Madrid, deep inside their own territory. Atletico Madrid's now possession, now their chance to control the tempo. Johnny Cardoso goes out wide to Nico Gonzalez. Now Baena has to turn away from a challenge, but able to play the ball back to Robin Lenormand. Julian Alvarez on the right hand side, just lays it at the feet of a teammate, and a decent cross into the area. And an important header there from Jean Martin. Not really able to clear it, but he was able to prevent a free header for Alexander Soloth. Very few of these players have won this trophy before. Robin Lenormand, one of them. He won it in his time at Real Sociedad. He played over 200 times for La Real. It's trying to prevent them winning another trophy. We have another stoppage because Aramburu is down again. Since Real Sociedad won the competition in 2020, there have been a few different winners. Barcelona have won it twice, Real Madrid once, Betis and Athletic Club once each as well. Trophy is certainly not just dominated by Real Madrid and Barcelona as it was for a few years in the previous decade. It would mean so much for these two sides to end their drought. Real Sociedad not been in too many finals. And they're used to going the distance with Copa del Rey matches. They're used to nervy finishes. Their last 5 games in the competition this season, all either won by 1 goal or on penalties. It's surely going to be the same again tonight, and Aramburu's night is finally over. He is taken off. That's the final change of the game for either side. And Aritz Elustondo, centre-back by trade, will come on for the final 7 minutes or so. Another long clearance by Musso, just flicked on, and they're trying to keep the pressure on Atletico Madrid, but unable to really grab the ball by the horns. Koke, though, does just that. If there's one player in this Atleti side to do it, other than maybe Alvarez, based on tonight's performance, it's going to be Koke, and he tries to force it through, and maybe a lucky bounce, and oh no, there's a... It looked like Alex Baena was in there for a second, but no, the referee gives a foul. It looked like he'd just beaten Jean Martin all ends up, and Jean Martin had made a meal of his clearance. Martin certainly wasn't appealing for a foul, and he just looped the ball up in the air as he completely sliced his clearance, and I think Alex Baena has every right to feel hard done by there. It looked like he was in for a second. He certainly was putting Baena under pressure, but not really sure if he fouled him. Free kick taken by Marrero out to the La Real left-hand side. Hasn't really come to anything. One back and played to Musso. Musso's clearance, though, is again brought down by Real Sociedad. Once again, unable to really generate anything, and maybe a chance now because Baena picks the ball up in the middle. But really good covering this time by Sucic, who still looks as fresh as a daisy. He helps just disrupt the play and gives away a foul. Baena trying to maintain possession. And this second period of extra time is going by pretty quickly, but going by without much incident compared to the first 15 minutes of extra time. One chance will change everything. We are now into the final 5 minutes. Another long clearance from Marrero, another one that isn't able to be taken down by a teammate. Atleti's clearance, though, is not the best. Marin is onto it. Launched forward by Chaleta, who's now going to have to soldier on whether he's got any muscle problems or not, because there's no more changes available. Ball forced through. One for Baena to chase, but quickly out of his area. There is Marrero. That was good goalkeeping. It looks like something so simple, but it took command there. Unai Marrero. Kubo now. The new man, Elizondo, links up with Sucic. Sucic again on the right wing after the pass from Gorocha. Gorocha again. Sucic. Kubo, run out of room. Good tracking there. But then a really poor pass, it has to be said, by Gonzalez. Gorocha again. Inside the final 4 minutes of the 120. Wide on the right to Sucic. Now Kubo. Kubo just played it against Koke. Decides against the throw-in, but that was the wrong choice, because then he just gave it straight to one of the three Atletico Madrid players that were covering him. They are realizing that the fresher legs of the Japanese international are potentially where they could come undone late in this game, Atletico Madrid, and they're teaming up to stop him before he can really get going. It's working out so far. Real Sociedad in possession, but back with Marrero, who puts his foot through a clearance first time. It's going to drop on the halfway line, header forward, looking for Suarez, won't find him. Chaleta Sardist allows Munoz to take over. Marin over on that far side. Oscarson with his back to goal, wide again. Munoz with an opportunity to cross, doesn't take it though. Just plays it back to Chaleta Tsar. He links up with Gorocha. Gorocha again. Space to move into this time in a more central area, midway inside the Atleti half. Oh, and then an awful cross, absolutely dreadful cross. I think it was the new man, Elizondo, who tried that one from on the right hand side, just launched it high and into Rosed. Real waste by a man who I guess is lacking the sharpness of the game, lacking the 118 minutes that other players ahead of him have had to really get their foot in the action. And it's a rather subdued atmosphere now. I think both sets of supporters have realised that penalties is the way this game is going to be decided. Or have I spoken too soon? Because taken down nicely by Surloth into Alvarez, who somehow evades a couple of challenges. Plays it out wide to Almada. Now back, and Surloth climbs and he can't direct the header again. Not the easiest. He's really reaching for that one. The 30-year-old who will surely be heading to the World Cup, and it almost came off the top of his head there. Impossible to direct it as he would have wanted. They've won 6, drawn 3 and lost 0 of the last 9 head-to-heads. Atleti, all of those that are coming in La Liga. It's a different story in the Copa del Rey, where Real Sociedad have taken 3 wins in the last 4, including the 1987 final. That one went to penalties, and we are seconds away from another shootout. We are now in the last minutes, the 120th minute of the game, and a foul by Gorocha. He's conceded a free kick and he's been booked. It's going to be a free kick to Atletico Madrid around 10 yards inside the Sociedad half after Almada was taken down. And they go square with the free kick to try and create a better crossing angle. Now the ball comes into the area, it's bouncing around. There's claims of handball, but it's handball against an attacking player. And that is that. Clement Longley, the man, looking a little sheepish as he concedes the handball. 1 minute to be added on. We're 1 minute away, less than that now, from a penalty shootout. It's going to be a clearance with the free kick from Unai Marrero. Unless this gets knocked down by a Sociedad player and ends up launching an attack, it's going to be pretty much that. And it goes out of play. It's going to be a throw-in by Enes, trying to take it about 10 yards further forward than he should. And he's now... No, in fact, it's Elizondo who's been booked. The last addition to the action into the referee's notebook. Throw in then on the halfway line. Gonzalez down the line to Surloth. Surloth to Alvarez. Alvarez can't find a man. Cleared up to the halfway line. Oscarson, and that is that. And just like when these two sides met in the final in 1987, it was 2-2 after extra time, and penalties are going to be required. The omens are good in that sense for Pellegrino Matarazzo's side, because it was Real Sociedad who progressed that day, but it's Atletico Madrid who saved themselves late on in normal time. Is that momentum still going to count for anything? It certainly did in extra time. They've got to do it in a penalty shootout. Join me in a couple of minutes for penalty. Via a penalty shootout. 2-2 after 90 minutes, 2-2 after 120 minutes between Atletico Madrid and Real Sociedad. King Felipe watching on. He's had to stay in his seat a bit longer than perhaps he expected, because this one is going the distance. Juan Musso, the hero for Atleti in extra time, making a couple of key saves. Julian Alvarez striking the angle of post and bar, although Atleti didn't really force Unai Marrero to make a save. Which of the two goalkeepers is going to be the hero in the coin toss taking place down on the field at the moment? It looks like Real Sociedad have chosen the end, although it seems like something has not gone right, because it seems like we're doing it all over again. Roque in dialogue with the referee, and it looks like he's won the toss. And against Aritz Elustondo, the two number 6s together in the centre. Nails being bitten all around the stadium. Atletico Madrid trying to win this competition for the 11th time, for the first time in 13 years. Real Sociedad trying to win this competition for just the 3rd time, and the first in 38 years. Which one is going to prevail? Atletico Madrid are going to take the first penalty in the shootout, and it will be Alexander Sørloth. Sørloth, who didn't score in the competition proper, but he has netted 17 times this season. He has netted 9 times against Real Sociedad. That's the most of any active player in this fixture for either side. Can his great record against La Real be extended? He's got a couple of big scratch marks on his neck, which he seems to have picked up in extra time. Not sure from where they came. The photographers are massing behind the goal. The penalties are being taken at the Real Sociedad end. Sørloth against a blue and white wall, steps up and it's a save, and Sørloth's record against Real Sociedad is stopped by Unai Marrero, who gives Real Sociedad a perfect start to this penalty shootout. It remains 0-0 in the shootout. Sørloth, his penalty, plenty of pace on it, but Marrero guessed right by diving to his left. He just had to flick a right hand up. It was a nice height for the goalkeeper. Poor penalty from the centre forward. You'd expect better from him. It's a poor start for Atletico Madrid. Real Sociedad with the momentum before they've even taken a penalty. Stepping up now is Carlos Soler. He's going to strike on with his right foot. Fairly lengthy run up. Up he comes now. Soler, and he's buried it in the bottom corner. Musso went the right way, but it was a really nice penalty from Carlos Soler, and he's put Real Sociedad 1-0 up in the penalty shootout. He had a good game all round, Carlos Soler, marshalling that midfield for Real Sociedad, particularly in the first half when they had a lot more of the ball than they did for the latter 3 periods of the game. And now the pressure is on Julian Alvarez. If there's a man for the pressure, it is the Argentinian. Scored the goal in the 83rd minute that ensured the game went to extra time. He's got a fairly short run up. He's going to strike it with his right foot. Marrero is bouncing around behind his goal line. Alvarez, and it's saved again! Marrero is the hero. 2 penalties, 2 saves for the Real Sociedad number 13. He hasn't played a minute of football in La Liga this season, but he was trusted for the big moments. In just his 6th appearance, he dived to his right this time, and again it's another save. 2 big paws onto it. Alvarez with a short run up. Again, a nice height for the goalkeeper. And Atleti have missed, and more to the point, they've had their first 2 penalties saved by Unai Marrero, the 24-year-old. And now 21-year-old Ori Oskarsson with an even shorter run-up is going to step up. Strikes with his right foot. Oh, it's a poor penalty. A really poor penalty, and it's saved by the legs of Juan Musso. And Atletico Madrid are still in this final. It was a lethargic penalty from Oskarsson, and the two Nordic strikers have stepped up and had fairly poor penalties saved. Soloff for Atleti, and now Oskarsson for La Real. And it is still just 1-0 in the shootout after 2 penalties each. There's an opportunity here for Atleti to level it at 1-1. Yes, of course, they would have had one more penalty. Nico Gonzalez, of course, has to score it. But the momentum will really swing. Up steps Nico Gonzalez with his left foot. Little hop and a step, and he sends Marrero the wrong way. And it's just funny, isn't it, how the momentum can really swing on one penalty. Oskarsson missing the chance to put Real Sociedad 2-0 up. A save from Musso. A goal from Nico Gonzalez, man who scored twice last month in the 3-2 victory over Real Sociedad in La Liga. He's the man to draw them level in the shootout. It's 1-1. Atleti after 3 penalties, Real Sociedad after 2. And now, to try and preserve the advantage, it's the number 24, Lukas Sucic. Sucic up against Musso. Another fairly short run-up with his left foot. Oh, it's a nice penalty from Sucic. He was in and out of the game over the 120 minutes. You'd forget he was there sometimes, but when you saw him in action, he was really, really top-notch for Real Sociedad during the game, and he's continued that with his penalty, and he's ensured that the advantage is still with Real Sociedad. After 3 penalties each, it's La Real 2, Los Colchoneros 1, and it's Thiago Almada to take the 4th penalty for Atletico Madrid. Long run-up, strikes with his right foot and sends Marrero the wrong way again. Marrero, with the last 2 penalties, diving to his right. Almada, and before him, Nico Gonzalez going to their right. And Atleti still in the fight. It was almost down the middle, really, from Almada, just to the right-hand side as he was looking at it, but nowhere near the post. And the goalkeepers now having words with each other. I'm not too sure what the issue is there. And it's going to be Ian Munoz, the fullback, stepping up now for Real Sociedad. Few nervous looks. I think he was a surprise step up. So rather, he's angling his run now with his left foot. Munoz, oh, straight down the middle. Nice penalty. And that has really lifted the mood of those in blue and white around the stadium. I'm not sure too many had too much confidence in Ian Munoz. Well, he showed them, the 28-year-old, with a really confident penalty. Grabs the badge. And now the pressure is really on Alex Baena, because he now has to score. It's Atletico Madrid's 5th penalty. Baena standing just inside the area, almost straight at the ball. There's no angle to his run-up at all. The referee blows his whistle. Will he step to one side or the other? He steps to his left. He's going to shoot with his right. Coolly dispatches that. And Marrero again diving to his right, and it was the wrong decision after 2 fantastic saves. Marrero has not had a prayer with the last 3 Atleti penalties, but it's not going to matter one jot if Sociedad can score their 5th and final penalty. Marrero is going to hand the ball to Pablo Marin. The two embrace. Marin with a chance to win the Copa del Rey for Real Sociedad. half the team can't watch. The other half are encouraging Marin. A few of the Atleti players have turned away. Musso is dancing around on his goal line trying to put Marin off. Marin just staring at him. Marin steps to his left. He's going to shoot with his right foot and he's put it in the top corner. And the celebrations can begin for Real Sociedad. The side from San Sebastián Donostia have won the Copa del Rey of 2026. They beat Atleti on penalties the last time they lifted this famous old trophy in 1987. They've come back 39 years later and they've finally done it again on penalties against Atletico Madrid. 2 saves in the shootout from Unai Marrero set them on their way to victory. Ori Oskarsson's miss did not matter in the end because the other 4 penalties have been scored. Tears around the ground and on the pitch for those in red and white. Atletico Madrid have missed what is surely the better of their 2 chances to lift silverware this season. They've now got to try and beat Arsenal to reach the Champions League final. You wouldn't bet against them. But then, looking at their form now, it is hard to see them reaching the Champions League final against the side that's been leading the English Premier League all season. But that's for another day. The evening at Estadio de la Cartuja belongs to Real Sociedad. They've come from the Basque Country down to Andalusia and they're going home with the trophy. The flares are going off in the blue and white section of the ground. The tears are flooding down the faces in the red and white half. Unai Marrero trusted with the appearance in the final, having guided Real Sociedad through the majority of the competition. Pellegrino Matarazzo kept his faith with the goalkeeper, the number 2 goalkeeper, and it has paid off. Matarazzo from New Jersey to Seville has won a major trophy in the first time in his footballing career. And what a way to do it, on penalties. Goal in the first minute, a long time ago now, from Ander Barnechea was cancelled out by Aramola Lukman. Then Mikel Oyarzabal made it 2-1 just before half-time. None of those players finished the game. One of them who did was Julian Alvarez, who levelled in the 83rd minute. That ended up sending the game to penalties. But Alvarez and Surloth, the 2 strikers left on the field, were the 2 who had their penalties saved by Unai Marrero. González, Almada and Baena all scored, but Soler, Sucic, Munoz and Marin all found the nets in the shootout for Real Sociedad. It's finished Atletico Madrid 2, Real Sociedad 2. Real Sociedad win 4-3 on penalties. It's been a long night at the Estadio de la Cartuja. Thank you for joining me, Anthony Thomas, your commentator, for all of the action. And we'll see you again very soon. The Copa del Rey, campeón de 2026, is